War Eagle Auburn family, and welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we talk about anything that's going on in the world of Auburn family news. Obviously, heavy on the sports all the time, but it can be about anything. If it's Auburn, if it's orange and blue, we talk about it here. And I appreciate you joining me, whether you're watching this live or on the replay today. So a lot of things happened yesterday since our last live stream. Some of those being Sharif Cooper is free, believe it or not. Hashtag free Sharif Cooper. I don't know that that specifically worked, but Sharif Cooper is going to be able to play. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Coach Cadillac. And Coach Etheridge coming to Auburn football. And I know it's early as well, but we're going to go through all this the best we can while I'm on the road, as you can tell. And I warned some of you yesterday. Probably some connectivity issues are going to happen as well. All these things seem to happen when you're on the road, but I appreciate you being here today, bearing with the changes, and hopefully we'll have fun talking about some of these things today. So let me go through my normal spiel at the beginning, where I share a couple of things that we've got going on here in the network and things that you should be aware of. Speaking of which, my name is Kyle, by the way. I didn't introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the editor and owner of the E2C Network, which is a family of podcasts that cover all things Auburn. I have put the link in the chat window right now for you to go check that out if you would like to. It is the Apple podcast link, but it is available on any podcast link out there if you'd like to check that out. And if it's not available on yours of choice, please let me know. I will put that up and available for you to go check that out. If you're looking for ways to help support this content that we do and help us keep producing this on a more timely basis, because we do all this stuff for you for free, there is a subscription club called the E2C Network Booster Club over at Patreon, patreon.com/E2C Network, where you can sign up for as little as $1 a month and help support the content that we put out here for you on this channel, but also on our podcast network and everything that we do. So go check it out, see if it's worth your while. I think you'll find some things in there that are probably worth your while for helping support our content here. Also, we have a couple of podcasts out that you go check out. Auburn Roots, which is where we let an Auburn fan tell their Auburn story. And Scott Scroggins of Twitter, Scroggins Noggin, he was able to share his story with us, and we were very, very happy to have him on the last episode. So I hope you'll go check that out. Last thing of all the boilerplate stuff at the beginning, we are only broadcasting live on YouTube today. No Twitter, just because I wanted to simplify things because of being on the road and potential internet issues and things like that. That's why it's just here. That's why I have the headset on and all that stuff. So it's just you guys today, so you should feel very, very, very special. So probably be on the shorter side of a live stream, but we'll make sure we spend as much time as y'all want talking about all these things that are going on in Auburn athletics. So make sure you smash the like button if you're enjoying what you're talking about today. And it looks like we've already got a great crowd arriving here. My goodness, it is an exciting, well, it was an exciting evening last night for Auburn family, but there's a lot of cool things to be talking about here today. Let me say hello to a couple of folks. Sean, what's up, man? War Eagle to you, sir. Guessing it's 9:55 Eastern time. I don't know. I don't know what. I look. All I did was put on the link. Hey, this is when I need to go live, and I'm actually in Central Time right now, if you're wondering. And whatever it put up is whatever it put up. Cadillac is back. Josh says now, just hoping for T-Well. Yeah, I gotta say I'm shocked that Cadillac happened at all, but happened before T-Well is even crazier, right? I know this is what you wanted. Yes, I definitely wanted Cadillac to stay. So my little Auburn loving heart is full this morning for so many reasons, but especially because of that right there. It looks like a lot of other people are very happy by the headlines here. I wasn't patient enough for my daily. Let's see. Do you think Sharif Cooper is going to be a one and done? I wasn't patient. Okay, I got you. I got you now. Aaron, do I think he's going to be a one and done? It's a great question, and I think that's a little, not to avoid the question, but I think it's a little bit more nuanced than is he going to just be simply a one and done. I think if he had played a full season at Auburn, yeah, and if he's as good as we think he is, then yes, I would say that he would be a one and done. Now that he's missed 12 games, I don't know. Even if he has, I mean, he has to have an outstanding year, right? To go. I think he is predicted in somewhere in the draft, in the NBA projected draft, but that's without seeing him play. My hope is, that he'll consider staying another year. Um, I think we have a better chance now that he's had to sit out for 12 games because I don't know that scouts will be as comfortable without a bigger body of work to look at. So it really depends on how good he is. So the question for you as Auburn fans, do you want him to be just spectacular? Because then you're pretty much guaranteed a one and done. I'd call that a three-quarter and done, or half and done, pretty much, because of the amount of time that he's missed. So yeah, I think I'm hoping to next year. And I think if there was a chance for Sharif Cooper, listen, Auburn fans, this could be a blessing in disguise, right? It could be that Sharif Cooper is almost forced to make the decision to stay when we actually can compete for we think we'll be able to compete for a national title and a spot in the tournament next year. So it could be a really good thing, right? I think so. He has to practice hard. Yes, I agree. And he thinks maybe next year as well. If Sharif Cooper comes back for the next season, he'll probably win it all. Terrell, I would say I love your optimism. I wouldn't go that far. I would say that we would be in competition to win it. I think a Sharif Cooper team, a year where this young talent has had a chance to mesh together, very, over a lot more time. I think it's going to be a potential to compete for that. To win it all, I don't know that that's highly likely, even as much potential as this team has. Look, everybody says, "Whoa, chill, chill." Yeah, look, I love your optimism, and I like that you're that way, and I love it. But just trying to temper the expectations just a little bit, because here's what we have a tendency to do as Auburn fans: we have a tendency to build things up in our heads, and when they don't meet those expectations, we throw hissy fits on social media, and we want people fired. I know I just took a shot there and opened up a can of worms, but hey, this is me. If you guys have been here long enough, you know this is me, and this is what I do. Love messing with y'all sometimes. Our basketball recruiting has been very satisfying to watch the past few years. Well, that's what comes with success, right? Obviously, a lot of that is in part, and mostly in part, due to Coach Pearl and his staff putting together a campaign, but also not even campaign, it's not the right word, but a pitch to athletes to come before the success came, and then once it got here to prove that, hey, everything that I was pitching to these guys to come over here, it's being fulfilled. So look, you can, like some of these bigger stars, they're like, oh, I can actually go to Auburn and compete for championships, and I can be very good, and I can get to the NBA. I mean, case in point, Isaac Okoro, Chumo Kiki, Jared Harper, Bryce Brown have all appeared in the NBA. Now, to what degree that differs, but that's four players in a matter of 2 years that have appeared in the NBA. Yes, I agree that basketball recruiting is very satisfying to watch. But it's been fun to track how that's been going. Shaq says, great week as an Auburn fan. I don't think there's been as fun a week as this in quite some time, especially with what we've been going through the coaching search. Rise Live. Let's see. Trace says, a great week for Auburn. What's your top five for next year? Mine is Sharif, JP, Allen Flanagan, Jabari, and JT Thor. I think, I think if you're just a betting man, you would say Jabari goes into the starting lineup there. So Sharif, if he lives up to the hype, I'd say Sharif. I would probably say Allen Flanagan at this point, based on what he's done. Definitely Justin Powell. And if you put Jabari, I don't think that's such a bad starting lineup there. It's a little bit on the small side, right? It's a little bit small. I think you're forgetting that Jalen Williams has shown that he's still got a lot of stuff to prove. So I think Jalen Williams, it might be a situation where there's almost a top six, and it depends on who you play. And you've seen Coach Pearl do this a lot, actually, sometimes, where he has a starting five, but it's really a top six, and that other guy comes in so quickly and sees just as much time as most of the starters. So it could be like a situation where, let's say, you rotate in and Alan Flanagan for a Jalen Williams to go with a bigger starting lineup. Or it could be substitute out for Justin Powell. But I think you're going to pretty much see Jabari, Sharif, and probably JT Thor, probably locks in there. So that's a good thought. Rise Lab said the only big loss is DJ leaving. Yeah, that was a bit of a shock. Probably the worst, the only thing that soured a pretty good day for Auburn fans yesterday. Look, I never want to say that I'm glad an Auburn player is gone, and that is not what I'm implying here. But this is the same situation for me as Booby Whitlow, Jatarvius Booby Whitlow. I think he's a great running back, and it will be a great running back for other people. I just don't know that he found a place here at Auburn, and I think that's the same case for DJ Williams. So I'm kind of okay with cleaning the cupboard out a little, especially look. So I was not a fan of restarts, right, for the football team. I wanted stability to be maintained. So in that case, you would think I'd want to keep DJ. But if I mean, it looks at this point like we're just cleaning and everything out. So just you might as well find the only essential pieces and then clean it out. I'm not saying that DJ is not essential, and I would love to have him as part of this football team, but it's just kind of like one of those situations. Well, if we're cleaning everything out, let's keep doing it. By the way, we're already at 47 live streamers. Thank you guys so much. You rock. Think we'll probably pass 700 subscribers by the time this stream is over if we haven't already. You guys are absolutely amazing that we are getting this fast. So I just saw a bunch of you do it. Smash the like button if you're enjoying this stream today. Let me see. I got to catch up. You guys are saying a lot of things. Stereotypical Auburn fan. It is sad that it took the NCAA for so long. I kind of rearranged that for you. They have the guilty until proven innocent motto, and I really don't think that's fair. Well, that seems to be most of society today, right? Most of that is to cover their own skins. But hey, look, I don't know what was going on in the NCAA. I'd love to believe that they had a reason to think that they needed to take that long, but who knows at this point. Here's what I do know: Sharif Cooper is free, and he will be playing basketball today because it's on the Auburn basketball Twitter. Speaking of which, the game starts in like 45 minutes, I think. So, obviously we will be done before then, but probably a little bit earlier than then. Part of the reason I'm going so early today is because I don't know what this rest of my day is going to look like. And I wanted to kind of talk about Sharif before the game today. Because obviously, if we get together tomorrow, or if something big happens today, and we'll get together later tonight, if time allows, the next time we do talk, I want us to analyze Sharif Cooper's first game, because that'll be fun to talk about. And if you haven't, subscribe to the podcast, because when we break down this game with Sharif Cooper, I'm going to be very, very excited. Very excited. To be honest, I wish Sharif was freed before we played our actual rival, South Alabama. Instead, he has to start with these. Oh, War Productions. Shots fired all the way. Those bums are not off to such a bad start. Even I have to admit that. Bryce Brown and Jared Harper have to be looked at as pioneers and legends of Auburn basketball. Right. I think that's a great perspective, Josh. I think obviously Chuma and Okoro are going to be what you really look to in terms of selling your program to recruits. But you cannot, even more than Jared, and I'm not trying to, because I think we all agree here that on this, and I'm not trying. Well, I don't know. I was about to say, on any given day, you'd probably pick Jared over Bryce if you had the choice there. When Bryce Brown is on, and there's no stopping him. So I don't know. That's not as easy a decision as I tried to make it seem like. So, but the point is I think Bryce Brown is the pioneer for Auburn basketball because his story is the story of Auburn basketball. Overlooked, nobody gave him a time of day. And when you put him in the right situation with the right people at the right times, amazing things happen, right? I said right like 1,000 times there. I hope we bring back the 3-game. The 3-game has always been hit or miss, hot or cold for Auburn, and it'll be back. It just is a question of when and where. So we're going to be loaded. Yes, we are going to be very, very loaded, which is sometimes a good problem to have, right? Johan's, he is excited. Finally got Sharif back. All comments saying free Sharif work. I'd love to say that the hashtag free Sharif campaign worked. I think we give ourselves a little bit too much credit. It was fun though, right? And I'm not saying that nobody ever saw it at the NCAA or anything like that, but I got news for y'all. The NCAA doesn't care about what people say on Twitter, but it was fun, and I was part of it too. So um, we need to keep it balanced and not do threes all game. So here's the conundrum, right? And this is why I love Coach Pearl so much, is that he allows his players to have freedom within the game. I can speak from personal experience on this. When I was playing basketball, a lot of times my coach would try to keep us within the structure. But I remember this point in my senior season where he finally said, "Okay, this is your structure, but I'm giving you freedom to do what you." And when that happened, not only did we start playing within that structure better, but we became more successful because we didn't feel like if we didn't do exactly what he wanted, we were going to get screamed and yelled at. Now, if we did something stupid, of course, and we deserve that. But I think that was one of the best coaching decisions my coach made, was giving us freedom to do what we wanted. So I think I say that to say about the whole three thing. The three is our bread and butter, and it's what makes us so deadly, and it's what opens up other parts of the game. We have to continue to do it to make them respect the other parts of the game, or to, I guess, not respect it, so they can open up some drives to the lane and things like that. And we've got some talented players to do that. Flanagan and Sharif may go to the league after this year. I think Allen has potential too, and I think you've seen that on the big boards and things like that. I wouldn't. I think Allen's. There's something about this that feels I think people are going to stay for another year. I think you might see one go, but I don't know about two. Um, Brian Harson should go out and get Ty Chandler. Chandler and Bigsby would be fire. Don't know a lot about Tyson Chandler or Ty Chandler, excuse me. Tank Bigsby is going to have a good year. Very hopeful, but I learned not to get very hopeful. And Rise Live, I think you are being very smart as an Auburn fan. You should be optimistic, but you should temper those optimisms with reality as an Auburn fan. Auburn fans learn at a young age never to get hopeful. We got predictions. All right, here, this is a fun thing to do. I want your assist numbers and your points numbers for Sharif Cooper in game one for him. Stereotypical Auburn fan has already thrown it down right here. 25 points and 5 assists. I think, personally, he will have more assists than he will points. That's a bold prediction, but I think more than that. Um, oh, by the way, family is heading to Auburn. My brother is heading back for college. Awesome. I'm glad to see that people are starting to get back to some normalcy there and trying to learn to power through everything that's going on there. I would assume y'all are going to the game, maybe, or just going to be down there to move them in. But that's awesome. 3 subs away from 700. Well, that means we lost one. It's always funny to see like how you go down and then you go up, because we were 2 away when I went live. But we'll hopefully be there soon. Josh, thoughts on the Zach Etheridge hire? Shocked, honestly. I got word from my source yesterday about the time that started breaking. And I was like, wow. I mean, I guess it's great. I had just kind of hadn't been paying attention to Zach Etheridge after, because I think he was like a GA at Auburn for a little bit and then went on to be a coach. But obviously, I love his story, his comeback story of his neck injury. Great player. He's a champion. I think that goes along. So, what Coach Harsin did yesterday, and unfortunately, I don't want to insinuate here, but I think he recognized, based off what you saw yesterday, the need for Auburn fans to see some Auburn men in the program. Thus, why you keep Cadillac, which is a smart choice by him. Obviously makes Tank happy, and he's proven to be a good running back coach, or at least recruiter, and we'll see. He's only had 1 season as a coach. But I think Zach Etheridge, who's spent some time as a DB coach, has earned the right for a chance here at a bigger program, and and he's an Auburn man. So what that tells me, I'm a little worried about T. Will. A little worried about it, and I want my T. Will on my on my team. But I'm happy. I'm happy about it. But it was a little bit kind of okay. That's the way we went. I'm happy about it, but a little bit shocked. I feel like we're going to be good at recruiting. It's almost like we're going to go everywhere. So far, good under Harson, just hoping Bobo ain't Bobo. So, guys, I would really, and I've kind of been on that thought process too. It's like, why Bobo? But the more I do research about this, the more I hear from my source about this. This could be one of Auburn's best hires ever done. And that's a big if, right? Okay, so I'm leaving room for error and speculate, and this is just speculation. But I am more positive with each coming day about Mike Bobo, even more so than Derek Mason, and I was fairly happy with that one. I tend to agree with everybody that said it was the Mason hire was a minus to a B plus. The Bobo hire was like a B minus to a C plus. I tended to agree with that, and now I'm kind of almost like, are they about even? We'll see. We'll see. It was definitely fun to yell "free reef" in the in the comments. Hey, you can keep doing that. If for some reason coach starts putting Sharif Cooper on the bench, if he's not having a great time, you can start yelling it then and see. He'll probably see him chuckle on the sidelines for that. He will need a few games. It's SEC and Bama has speed, but I'm excited for him. Yes, I think it's going to be a great time for him. Let's see here. Bruce structures the team for success depending on his players' talents. That's exactly what I'm saying there. So just because we think that the starting five will be one way one game and then one way the next season, doesn't necessarily mean that's what coach thinks is going to be most successful against his team. Most coaches do this, but I think Coach Pearl does it well. He is willing to insert pieces in and out of the starting lineup, but in and out of that sixth man role, which really basically is the sixth starter. A little bit very well there. Two more subs. We're back where we were. How good is Sharif? I mean, can he make the team a contender in a year that we can win it? If he's here in a year, right? We won't know. I would caution Auburn fans to what you see today. Don't get too overhyped and don't get too down if it's not what you thought it was going to be. Let's take the full season, right? And watch it and see what we saw. See if he's got any tendencies he's need to break. See what he looks like. Here's the other thing. Sharif Cooper is only as good as how he works with the team. Right? I mean, I know we all think that everybody can find the next LeBron James, Michael Jordan that can pretty much carry the team on his back. That's a very rare thing. So Sharif Cooper on his own, he can be as great as he wants, but he doesn't work well with the system and the team. He won't be that good if he can't do that. So that's going to be the big thing. Justin's out today. Yeah, I heard that too, and that is quite a shock. And I wouldn't be surprised if the NCAA had pity on Auburn and saying, "Wow, they need a point guard. We might have some issues with eligibility here, but can we just bypass those to give them some relief?" Shane said, and you were asking, what's the word on Powell? I don't know what's going on with him, man. He must have rocked his head real hard, which is a shame because he was doing good. He will get to move back into his natural position, which will be a plus for him. But what I'm encouraged by is that now that we know that Justin is such a competent point guard, we can almost use them together. When Sharif needs a break, Justin stays in and slides into that role, and when Justin needs a break, Sharif Cooper can come back in and give him. So I think it's going to work really well for Auburn. The fact that we were able to go through this time without Sharif, and Justin was able to show what he could do. Next year, yeah, we're bringing back everybody on the team. Add Jabari and Trey. Forgot about Trey too. All right, I finally got all to the predictions. 15 points, 8 assists, 18 points, not about assist. 12, 7, 3. So I'm guessing 12 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. Gonna have to score with Powell out. Yeah, but I think Sharif will draw some attention away to allow some other players to open up. Trey said 17 and 6. Slow start because he's too hyped. And because he just got really... I would not be surprised with a slow start today. And I think that would be a wise choice as Auburn fans to view it that way. War Eagle Joe. War Productions changed his prediction then. Jeremiah, basketball is more like AAU slot of offense. Coach Pearl builds confidence with player. Cooper will drop 25 points, 9 assists. That is quite bold. Hey, I love it though if he gets it. 19 points, 7 assists. How many openings are left? Are you talking about on the roster? So that's going to be the question of who leaves early. Does Coach Pearl encourage some of these players that might have a chance to go pro early just to make room for others? With Turbo leaving, I would suspect you've got. I think there's one senior walk-on leaving. So that, yeah, I mean that's a walk-on spot. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a transfer or two at the end of the year, and I don't think you have to look hard on the roster in terms of playing time, who those might be. But I think there's 2 to 3 players that unfortunately will, you know, require for their careers to go somewhere else. As of this point, T. Rob or Zach Etheridge? Are you asking me what I preferred? I would have preferred whatever Coach Harsin wants, and I know that's a lame duck answer, but it is my answer. If Coach Harsin feels that Zach Etheridge and by proxy Derek Mason feels that that's the best one for us, I'll take it over T. Rob. Coach Harsin's not going to have any lack of recruiting with the people that he's assembling together. So the fact that T. Rob, being known for such a great recruiter, not being here won't be such a big deal. Sub to, I love this. Sub to E2C. Funny. JD Davidson versus Sharif, Auburn, Alabama matchup would be epic next season if happened. It's a big if. It's a big, big if. Someone's telling me to shut up, I think. But all right. Let's see. Heard that Wayne Morris, former 5-star offensive tackle from Tennessee, is transferring, hoping he follows Will Friend. That might be you always get interested when transfers say something after a new coach moves somewhere. So that might be happening. Might be happening. And here's another one for that. That was one of the many cases where AU finished number 2 for a blue chip recruit. So it could definitely change things here. 18-5 with the dub. On to the Auburn football coaching staff. Sorry. Oh, okay, I got you. 700 subs. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, Cooper reminds me of Colin Sexton. That is don't do that to that man. Don't compare that to him. Anyway, all right, so here is what I'm going to do. We've talked a lot about Sharif Cooper. I want a quick poll of the room on 2 answers. I'm going to ask you 2 questions you can answer in the same post. Would you give are you happy, how about that? Are you happy, yes or no, with Zach Etheridge and Cadillac being coaches on Brian Harsin's staff? Yes or no. You can do yes, yes, no, no, yes or no, yes and no. Whatever combination you want. I'd love to hear from you on that. Because I will need to round out this discussion here. I know it's much shorter than we usually attend to do it, but I am on the road and I'm spending some time with some family, so I want to make sure I go do that with them. And they've been very gracious to let me break away for just a second to this. But I'd love to hear your perspectives on this. I think I know what your answers are going to be, but yeah. Let's see. How do I get noticed to get recruited? If you're a player, do well on the field. If I had the answer for you, I'd be playing professional sports right now, because clearly that is not my forte. It's a grand day for the Auburn family, Cooper and Cadillac and Zach Etheridge. It's a good day. Sexton scored over 20 every game this season. It's great for him. I don't care. I don't care about Alabama players. All right, yes, yes, yes. Kind of yes for Zach. Super yes for Cad. 100% happy. Yes and yes. Let's see. Yes, yes. I think we'll be able to recruit as former players, and they both have passion for Auburn. Yeah, so I think that's always funny. I knew it war. So here's the funny thing. I appreciate you being such a bold person to get people to sub, but usually what happens is you've got trolls but when they start seeing that, purposely start unsubbing because they want to be the one to say, ah, ha, 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 I got you down to 7. Here's the good thing, guys. Y'all done such a great job of being a part of this stream and this channel. 700 is going to cross any second again, and then we'll be going on. Y'all, I mean, this is all because of you. Y'all are all amazing, amazing. All right, looks like everybody's happy. Okay, here's what I got to do. I got to last minute thoughts and questions in right now. As I get out of here, let me share some things with you before we get out. Most of you know this is the typical stuff, but we are a podcast network primarily. If you have not, please go check us out. I have put the link in the chat window for you to go check out as the Apple Podcast link, but it's on any podcast network or app. If you need help finding it, let me know. If you need it on one that's not there, let me know. We can do what we can to help you do that. Also, if you'd like to check out our Auburn Roots specific feed where we do Auburn fan stories, it's always part of our main feed, but that's a separate one if you just want to check that out and don't want to have all the podcasts. So you can check that out there as well. Patreon as well, if you want to check that out, is a way to help support this content. It's the last link there, patreon.com/E2C Network. If you go there, you can sign up for as little as $1 a month. It's just a subscription service. Get yourself some perks and help support the content that we do here. $1 a month gets you a lot. Doesn't hurt to go check it out. All right. I don't know why I left that one up there. I got to be better about taking comments down when I see that. Seems like everybody's pleased. The Zach hire was out of left field. I agree. But happy with everything that's happened so far. I'm going to go be with my family, watch the basketball game, and hopefully we'll have some time to get together tomorrow to discuss this game. Probably some more Auburn coaching news and rumors. And we'll have a good old time. So thank y'all so much for being here. Smash that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the stream. And I'll talk to you very soon. War Eagle.